Today, we will share about the Old Fisherman and the Sunset Zen Motivational Story on lessons in letting go. Let's start. In a quaint coastal village nestled along the rugged cliffs of a serene bay, there lived an old fisherman named Hiroshi. He was known throughout the village as a wise and humble man, and his life was a testament to the art of letting go. Just as the setting sun painted the sky with its vibrant hues of orange and purple, so did Hiroshi's wisdom color the lives of those who sought his counsel. One evening, a young traveler named Yuki arrived in the village, exhausted from his journey. Yuki had been carrying a heavy burden of bitterness and resentment, and it weighed him down like a sack of stones. He heard of Hiroshi's reputation as a sage, and he hoped to find solace in the old fisherman's wisdom. As Yuki made his way through the village, he saw Hiroshi repairing his fishing nets by the shore. The old man's eyes sparkled with a kind and knowing light, and Yuki felt a sense of calmness wash over him as he approached. "Good evening, Hiroshi-san," Yuki greeted the fisherman with a respectful bow. Hiroshi returned the gesture with a warm smile. "Good evening, young one. What brings you to our village, and how can I be of service to you?" Yuki hesitated for a moment, unsure of how to put his feelings into words. Finally, he began to speak of the bitterness that had been festering within him for years, a grudge he held against a childhood friend who had wronged him. He recounted the details of the betrayal, the sleepless nights, and the anger that had consumed him. Hiroshi listened attentively, nodding empathetically as Yuki poured out his heart. When Yuki had finished, Hiroshi remained silent for a moment, as if savoring the weight of the story. Then, he began to speak. "Yuki, my boy, I have a story to share with you," Hiroshi began. "Once, there was a young fisherman much like yourself. He had a dear friend, a childhood companion, and they were inseparable. They fished together, laughed together, and shared their dreams under the same moon." Yuki listened intently, recognizing the similarities to his own story. But as it often happens in life, Hiroshi continued, a time came when their paths diverged. The young fisherman's friend, driven by ambition and desires, made choices that hurt his companion. He betrayed him and caused him pain, much like what you have endured, Yuki. Yuki nodded, his eyes locked on Hiroshi's, eager to hear more. The young fisherman, filled with anger and resentment, held on to his grudge for years. Hiroshi went on. He carried the weight of that betrayal like an anchor, dragging it with him in every aspect of his life. The bitterness poisoned his relationships, his work, and his spirit. Yuki's eyes welled with tears, recognizing the truth in Hiroshi's words. Hiroshi continued, "One evening, as the young fisherman sat by the shore, the sun began to set. Its rays painted the sky in the most breathtaking colors. It was a sight of such beauty and serenity that it washed over him, and in that moment, he felt a deep sense of peace." The young fisherman realized that he had been carrying the weight of the past for far too long. He understood that the grudge he held against his friend was like a heavy anchor, preventing him from truly living in the present and embracing the beauty of life. Yuki's heart resonated with the story, and he felt a glimmer of hope for the first time in years. Hiroshi smiled kindly at Yuki and concluded, "Yuki, my dear friend, the moral of the story is this: just as the sun sets every evening, we must learn to let go of the past, to release our burdens, and to embrace the beauty of the present moment. Holding on to grudges and resentments is like carrying a heavy load of stones, and it prevents us from experiencing the joy and tranquility that life offers." Yuki felt a profound sense of gratitude for Hiroshi's wisdom and the story he had shared. The weight of his grudge seemed to lessen, and he realized that he needed to let go of the past if he ever hoped to find peace and happiness. Over the next few days, Yuki spent time with Hiroshi, learning the art of letting go. The old fisherman taught him the value of forgiveness, compassion, and mindfulness. He shared stories, not only of his own experiences but also of other villagers who had found serenity by releasing their burdens. As Yuki continued to practice these teachings, he noticed a gradual transformation within himself. The bitterness that had consumed him for so long began to fade, replaced by a sense of inner peace. He wrote a heartfelt letter to his childhood friend, expressing his forgiveness and the desire to mend their friendship. Yuki's friend, who had carried his own burden of guilt for years, was deeply moved by the letter. They reconciled, and both found healing in their renewed friendship. The village of Hiroshi and the sunset became a symbol of hope and inspiration for those who sought to let go of their burdens. The story of the old fisherman and the wisdom he shared with Yuki continued to spread, and it became a beacon of light for anyone grappling with the weight of the past. In the end, Hiroshi's legacy was not in the fish he caught or the nets he repaired but in the lives he touched and the hearts he helped free from the shackles of bitterness and resentment. He taught the world the timeless art of letting go, like the setting sun that fades into the horizon, leaving behind the promise of a new day filled with beauty, forgiveness, and the joy of being truly alive. Thanks for watching. Don't forget like, share and subscribe.